Hello everybody, Let's for Life here, bringing us a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about the brand new archetype announced for Rage of the Abyss, which is the newest one for the Diabellstar lore. This is the Azamina. Now, I read these cards last night because of course everything gets announced at nighttime when I can't record. So let me know down below if you guys prefer blind reactions or my general thoughts on an archetype as I read everything and tell you what they do and all that stuff. And this deck, it it's very, how do I put this? It has very strong potential to be another tier 0 deck depending on what they do with the ban list and other support. Because you see, these cards the archetype has no main deck monsters. It's all extract monsters and spells and traps. And it bounces off of the Diabellstar stuff, which is and the Diabell stuff. Makes sense, you know. The other big thing is that it plays well with Chimera and Faintsmith. Because of course it would. And depending on what to do with the ban list, it's it's scary what this deck can possibly do. Now, of course, we haven't actually got to play test it yet because it's not on like Ygopro or on Dueling Network or anything. So we have to wait and see. I guess it's actually a Dueling Book now, ain't it? I don't know. I don't go on that site anymore. Anyways, let's go ahead and read these cards, and you'll see why I'm talking. Why I'm hesitantly optimistic for this. It's such a cool idea. But depending on what they do with the ban list and cleaning up the problems with the tier 0 deck, this just makes the tier 0 decks even better, which is scary. Also, literally any deck can play a small engine of this and get an Omni-negate because, hey, let's talk about our first one here. Azamina Rhea Silvera, Dark Illusion Fusion Effect Monster. Level 6, 1900 attack, 1500 defense, 1 illusion plus a light spellcaster. So, not hard to do at all, especially if like you're playing Chimera. Literally, this is just any one of your illusion monsters, plus like Guiding Quem, good old Cartesia. You can play anything like that. Or you can play White Woods, because actually this also, you can play in White Woods, which is something I want to test out, and I think thematically that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Anyways, you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. Any battle damage your Azamina monsters, other than Azamina Reyes Silvera, inflict to your opponent is doubled. So, your other monsters do double battle damage. Okay, cool. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you contribute this card, negate that effect. Yeah, super generic Omni-negate. That's exactly what we wanted, Konami. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Sinful Spoils trap from your deck to your hand. So yeah, pretty cool cards. The effects are they're all good. Like, it searches on destruction. It doubles your other guy's battle damage. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, of course, it's an Omni. Now, this is like the main one that you're probably going to be making half the time if you're just like using this as an engine. But let's actually talk about how you're making these guys real quick before we talk about the archetype proper. That's something I should have done actually sooner. So, let's look at the spell card Sacred Azamina. This is the deck's fusion spell. Normal spell card, you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, reveal one Azamina fusion monster in your extract. Send one Sinful Spoils card from your hand and or field to the graveyard for every 4 levels it has. If those cards are set, reveal them. Then special summon that revealed monster. This is treated as a fusion summon. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Azamina monster you control, or in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. So, this is a recycling fusion spell. The fusion effect proper is not once per turn. The second effect to return it back to your hand by returning one of your Azamina monsters is. And that's where we get into some scary things, okay? So as I said, this can be used as a small engine. There is a search card for this. And it is a Sinful Spoils card. It's actually this card here. Actually, no, it's this card down here. Sinful Spoils, Deception, continuous spell. You contribute one monster from your hand or field, add one Azamina card from your deck to your hand. If a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard and you control an Azamina monster, you can make your opponent lose 1500 attack, and if you do, you gain 1500 life points. Oh, sorry, did I say attack? I meant life points. So yeah, you can make your opponent lose 1500 and you gain 1500. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the face-up spell and trap card zone this turn, you can set it. So as I mentioned, you can use this as an engine in literally any archetype. So how it works is you play 3 of this and 1 of this. And so you just use this to search out Azamina. And then you use Azamina to send your Sinful Spoils to the graveyard. And you summon out your negate. You can literally do a 0 summon negate. And then, oh, your negate dies or you use its effect. Cool. Sacred Azamina effect to put this back in your extra deck. And since Sinful Spoils Deception reset itself, you can then just send the same copy of Deception to the graveyard and get the same thing back. You can literally play... It's a 4-card engine. It's a 4 freaking card engine. 5 if you count the fusion monster. That's freaking ridiculous. Jeez. So, yeah, and it's super, super duper splashable. Literally any deck can play it. Oh, you're scared about getting Nibiru? Cool, just make this. You'll stop the Nibiru and not have to worry about it anymore. That's what I'm mixed about. Everything else about this deck is super freaking cool. I love the idea of it. And we're, of course, going to talk about it here in a second. But, like, man, why do they keep giving super generic extra deck Omni-negates? Okay, let's talk about the rest here. Azamina, Mu, Reseligo. Level 6, also. God, by the way, the artwork on these are amazing. Like, they very much feel like an extension of the Whitewoods. And if, like, looking at the lore and everything, they very much are. Like, God, look at this artwork, guys. They're so freaking good. Okay. Anyways, Mu, Reseligo. Dark Illusion Fusion effect. 600, level 6, 2k attack, 2400 defense. 1 illusion plus a light spellcaster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add an Azamina or a Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. Monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each Azamina monster you control, which is really good because Azaminas are not very beefy at all. I think they're strongest, yeah, well, they do have one that caps out at 3k, but like 2k, 19, it's not much. And if this card is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can add 1 Sinful Spoils spell from your deck to your hand. So, this card's really good for the, like, if you're playing more of the engine and not. But if you're just playing the one of and everything, you don't really need it. But it's a really good card for if you're playing more of the engine or a whole deck around this. Moving on, we got Azamina Soul, Eerie Sikthon. I think I pronounced that right, I'm not sure. It's a tree. 1 illusion monster plus a fiend monster. Hey, look at that Chimera summoning requirements. Borderline. Like, this is why people are talking about you can play this in Chimera. It's ridiculous. 27 attack, 0 defense. You can only use each effect once per turn, and it's a hard once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send 1 card on the field to the graveyard. It's really good. Now, it does target, so, yeah, you can target 1 card on the field, send it to the graveyard. But, like, with Chimera Fusion, you can summon this guy on your opponent's turn, and that's a disruption. That's really good. Granted, half the time, it might just be better to go into Guardian Chimera, but hey, maybe you don't have 3 mats. You only have an Illusion of Fiend, so boom, there you go. The second effect is, during each standby phase, both yours and your opponent's, you can target 1 Azamina or Sinful Spoils card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This card's, like, really, really, really good. Just generates you free advantage over time and pays for itself practically right away. Then we got the boss monster, Azamina Moa Regina, which this artwork, again, it just looks so good. This is, like, really low res, though. Illusion Fusion effect, level 8, 3k, 2k. one illusion monster plus a level 6 or higher fiend monster. So since this is the first level 8 and the others are all level 6, so the level 6 ones you only need to send 1 Sinful Spoils of Sacred Azamina, but for the level 8 you need to send 2, which, you know, that's a bit more, but it's not too much more. You can only use the first and second of Moa Regina once per turn. You can target one illusion monster in your graveyard, except a copy of itself. Special summon it. And when a Sinful Spoils or Azamina card or effect is activated, except a copy of itself, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy them. So, literally, if you have this out alongside, like, for instance, Rhea Silvera, and your opponent, like, does something, you negate it with Rhea Silvera, and then, yeah, you also get to pop 2 cards. Or, oh, you fusion summoned Azamina Soul during your opponent's turn, and he's sending something. Cool, you can also pop 2 cards. This card is very, very silly, and I love it. It's going to be annoying as all hell to deal with. That's just what I'm getting a feeling for. But yeah, very good all around. Let's see here. I talked about the spells and traps, except for this and this, so let's go and take a look at it. So, Azamina, Ophiel, that is... I don't know how to pronounce that. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. So, you can only get one or the other effect, you can't get both in a turn. During the main phase, reveal one Azamina, it does the same thing as Sacred Azamina. The second effect is, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target an Azamina monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, first time around, you can fusion summon one of your Azaminas by sending a Sinful Spoils. Then the second effect is you can target one monster, one Azamina in your graveyard, special summon it. And since this is a quick play spell, this is a way to summon out this guy on your opponent's turn, and of course also maybe summon this if you want to. But like the big thing obviously again is it gets at your soul guy who can of course send something for disruption on your opponent's turn. Very good card again. I think this one is probably only going to be played if you're playing a dedicated deck for this, but if you're doing the engine thing, you don't really need much more than Sacred. Down here, we got my favorite art of the bunch. This has so many lore implications and everything. I really, 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 pardon me, really, really wishes they would just make an anime of this already. The Sinful Spoils lore with Diabellstar and Diabells, it's so incredibly intriguing. And at least it's not as confusing as Visa so far. Azamina Hamartia. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. You can't get both. First effect just is the standard fusion effect for the Azamina. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Sinful Spoils trap in your graveyard, set it, but it cannot be activated this turn. Again, just an all-around good card. It's like, okay, that's another way to fusion summon on your opponent's turn, and also get recursion. So, yeah. Now, for Sinful Spoils traps, also, before I forget, I forgot about the Goblin Biker stuff, which I'm excited for. I love Goblin Biker. There is a new Sinful Spoils trap, the Sinful Spoils Offenders, which, this is making Diabellstar just look so freaking cool. Like, you know, I try not to hate Diabellstar too much because, yeah, sure, she's involved in a tier 0 deck, but that's more so Snake Eye's fault. Anyways, Sinful Spoils Offenders, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If your opponent specials a monster or monsters from the deck and or extract, you can control a Diabellstar monster card. Target one monster they control, shuffle it into the deck. During the damage step, if your Diabellstar monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. An opponent's monster's attack becomes halved until the end of this turn. So yeah, this just helps like keep Diabellstar around. It bounces stuff and then makes it so that she doesn't get beat over, which is pretty standard. If you read the other Sinful Spoil cards other than freaking original Sinful Spoils, a lot of them are like this, where they are very protective of Diabellstar and focused on keeping her around. So, like, literally, like, okay, so Sinful Spoils Subversion, it's literally just, like, removal. And we got Original Sinful Spoils, which everybody knows what that does. But literally, like, all the others, pretty much just focus on keeping her around. I forgot about this card. Okay, yeah, that's more like Whitewood support. But anyways, like this, lets you keep your stuff unaffected or lose attack. And then you got... Wow, I forgot about what this one is. Okay, yeah, there's more than what I remember. I was mainly thinking of Silvera and Roselia. But yeah, I forgot there's other ones that they released to help support Diabells, which are more focused on Diabells herself. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of Sinful Spoil cards that you can make use of in this deck. And it'll be interesting to see how things turn out that people test around. Now, next up, real quick, I do want to quickly talk about the new Goblin Bikers. And there's only like 3 cards. Yeah, there's only 3 cards, but I think these are going to be big helps for Goblin Bikers. So first up, we got Bad A-Word Goblin Bikers. Yeah, that name is not going to stick around. I wish this card would keep its name, but let's be real. It's going to be called something like the Cool Goblin Bikers or the Awesome Goblin Bikers. There's a bunch of synonyms they could choose from. Sorry, guys, I'm still waking up. It's 7:35 in the morning. Can you blame me? Anyways, level 6 Dark Fiend Effect Monster, 2400 attack, 0 defense. Those are pretty good stats. I think aren't those the same stats as like the rank 6? I can't remember. It's been a second. Goblin Biker. I'm curious. Wait. Oh, that's right. It's not called Goblin Biker. It's called Goblin's like big thing or whatever. Okay, yeah. Nope. Goblin. Come on. Goblin's Crazy Beast. That's why it wasn't popping up. 27 attack, 0 defense. So very close, similar stats. If you control no monsters or all monsters control are Goblin monsters, you can normal summon this card without attributing. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Goblin monster from your deck. Literally any Goblin, which is pretty cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field, attach it to your Goblin Xyz monster as material. This card's pretty cool all around. I've just got one problem with him, and that this is a normal summon. Why is this not a special summon? Why can't you special summon him if you control no monsters or all monsters are goblins? That's like my biggest issue with this card. The other like kind of sort of issue is that he's level 6. And so he's going to be difficult at times to use for the main Xyzes that you want to use, but you can level modulate and all that stuff. I think it's funny, it summons a level 4 or lower when all the ones that you're probably going to be summoning are level 3, but hey, it gives them some utility and support for the old goblin stuff. Not that I'm thinking you're really playing much of those, but oh well. Next we got Goblin Biker. Grand Imprisonment, which is a quick play spell card. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. Tribute one monster, special summon a Goblin monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. I love this. It's literally just like an E-Telly, but like you do got to tribute something, but hey, it gets around stuff. Oh, your opponent's going to destroy your guy anyways with like Access Code Talker. Well, I guess not Access Code Talker. That's a terrible like choice because you can't respond to it, but something that you actually can respond to, and they're targeting your guy. He's going to die. Okay, cool. Chain this. Summon a dude from deck. There's that. And then when a monster occurs an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard and detach any number of materials from your Goblin Biker Xyz monsters. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1,000 attack for each material detached until the end of this turn. That's really, really good and very helpful because the Goblin Bikers don't have super big attack power, so that's going to help out with that. But also, this triggers their detaching effects, so you get to like attach something and all that. And hey, it's pretty good. It triggers on attack decoration, so you can activate it then, and then you don't have to worry about like... it's just an extra bonus effect. I like it. It's a good card. Next up, we got Goblin Biker Grand Crisis. I love how everything has to be grand for them. It's hilarious. Like, oh, we're imprisoned. It's a grand imprisonment, not just an imprisonment. Anyway, so yeah, Goblin Biker Grand Crisis. And... why are they all stuck in this mess? Did they get captured? Like, that's what it looks like. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. This is a continuous trap. First effect, you can target one Goblin monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, or one Goblin monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish both. That's really, really, really cool. Just the ability to interrupt and banish anything, and the fact that you can also even get stuff out of the graveyard. That gives you something to do with a lot of your extra goblin names, because, well, playing the deck, I found that sometimes you just have a bunch of extra goblins you don't know what to do with. So that's going to really help out. And then you can send this face-up card from your spell trap card zone to the graveyard, and then target 5 of your banished goblin monsters with different names, special summon them. Now this does have to be exactly 5, it doesn't say up to 5 or anything, so this literally just, you summon out 5 goblins after doing this for 5 turns, or maybe you do something else to banish your goblins. This card has strong potential. I think it's mainly going to be played for the first effect, but hey, there are going to be times where the second effect is going to win you the game. So yeah, that's everything. That's all the new stuff for the Diabellstar lore and all that. We already talked about Sinful Spoil Offenders and the Azamina. This deck, these cards have so much potential. I'm really happy with the Goblin Biker support overall. And as for Azamina, oh boy, this deck, it looks cool. I'm just scared. I'm scared of another tier 0 deck. I'm tired of it. So I'm over-analyzing everything, I feel. That being said, like, the art, oh my god, like, this is the Whitewoods, one of the Whitewoods girls, and I think that's Roselia, or no, is it Silvera who's the wolf one? I can't remember. But, like, this has so many implications for the lore and what the heck's going on. We know that the last thing that happened was, freaking Diabells kidnapped her cat, her cat Snake, capturing Snake Eyes Poplar from Diabellstar. And then it looks like all hell's broken loose. Why? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So that is everything. Let me know down below what you guys think. Are you scared about this? Do you think it's gonna be a little ridiculous that literally any deck can play a small 4-card engine and instantly cheese out a Omni-negate? I don't know. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and see you all later. Peace out. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.